All right, guys. So this story is kind of incredible, and it's good. It's good, and it's good because he's shooting himself in the foot, right? So we're coming down to the final stretch of the election here, and Trump is, he's done a whole bunch of interviews recently, and there's some points he keeps coming back to. Here's one of those points that he brings up every time he does an interview or has a speech now. Listen to this.
Who would want men playing in women's sports? They want it. Who would want transgender operations for almost everybody in the world? They want them. This is a sick group of people, I'm telling you. And there's a great evilness. We want to come together as a country, but there's a lot of evil there.
Who would want transgender operations for everybody in the world? Again, you're telling me they're not high on their own supply? You're telling me they're not out over their skis? The claim is, and look, he's doing, for dramatic effect and hyperbole, he's doing comedic exaggeration. They want trans surgeries for everybody in the world. But at the core of what he's saying there is he genuinely thinks, the Democrats are transing your kids in school. In fact, he's literally made that argument. Here, we have one example of it right here. He did this when he was in a black barbershop as well, but listen to this.
Can you imagine you're a parent and your son leaves the house and you say, Jimmy, I love you so much. Go have a good day in school. And your son comes back with a brutal operation.
I need you to understand something. This isn't, he misspoke. He's repeated it over and over and over. He goes, without parental consent, you send your kid off to school. He comes back and he's the other gender. He's a she. He said this so many times. Is he genuinely dumb enough to think you send your kid to school and then the teacher takes the kid, brings them to a different room in the school or takes them to the hospital, and then they chop off little Jimmy's dick and balls and Jimmy goes back a girl? There's no way he's dumb enough to actually believe that. I know he's dumb. He is not that dumb. Nobody is that dumb. But this is what he's been repeating it over and over and over and over and over. Now, you might say, well, Kyle, whatever. This is just throwaway lines in the speech. So, what's the big deal? Sure, he's wrong. Sure, it's stupid, but who cares? So it's a throwaway line in a speech. Wrong. Did you know the closing argument ads that Trump is spending the most on leading into Election Day? It used to be about inflation and immigration. Those were the two. Just hammering all day, the Democrats, on inflation and immigration. Inflation and immigration. Okay. Well, they stopped that a few weeks back. And they decided, let's go in a slightly different direction for the campaign. What are we going to lean into? The 2 or 3 different closing argument ads that they've been spending the most money on in the swing states, it's trans panic stuff. I am not kidding. I'm not kidding. In fact, we played one of the ads for you the other day and broke it down. But it is trans panic ads. He's closing with trans panic ads. So this is not just a throwaway line. This is not just him being an idiot and totally lying about what goes on in our schools and what happens with kids. This is like now the cornerstone of his campaign, bro. And what's Kamala's closing ad? She's got 2 or 3 of them, spending the most on these in the swing states. It's economic populism. He's an asshole billionaire. Here's a picture of him with another asshole billionaire, Elon Musk. Here's a picture of him with Jeffrey Epstein. He wants to cut billionaires' taxes again. Here's a clip of him saying that. I, on the other hand, want to cut middle-class taxes. That's her closing ad. Leaning into economic populism, basically calling him a billionaire elitist goon. And Trump's closing ad is Kamala wants to chop off your son's dick and balls at school. I don't think this race is 50-50, dog. I'm sorry, I don't. Based on everything, I don't see it. I don't see it. So do with that whatever you will, but I'm trying not to overreach here, but Trump is genuinely running one of the worst campaigns I've ever seen in my life. Ever. It's hideously out of touch. It is comically out of touch. Trump 2020 even ran a better campaign than Trump 2024. And Trump 2016 was on another level. That campaign, sure, he said his usual crazy stuff, but he paired it with some economic populism and some anti-establishment, anti-corruption lines that kind of landed. His closing argument ad back then was devastating and brutal, and I was like, shit, he can win, man. He can win. What I'm seeing this time, Oh, if he wins, it will be despite how horrible a campaign he ran, not because he ran a good one. He's running the worst campaign I've ever seen. He makes Mitt Romney look like a political genius next to him. I mean, this is embarrassing stuff, bro. This is way deep in their own bubble, leaning into culture war bullshit, and it's because they have nothing. They have nothing. What's he going to run on? His record? What's he going to brag about increasing drone strikes 400%? Is that what he's going to do? He's going to lean into, we want war with Mexico in our second term. He's going to lean, and he has been leaning into the tariffs. I'm going to do a 20% tariff on everything that comes in the country. Okay, well, you were just complaining about inflation. So much for that. Inflation's going to fucking skyrocket if you do that. Everything that comes in the country, 20%, everything. This is crazy. Oh, we're going to do mass deportation. We're going to, he brags about mass deportation and says he wants to invoke the Enemy Aliens Act or something like that from 1798. All right, bro. All right. There you go. Pathetic. All right, guys. That's the show. Y'all know the drill. Love you very much. Everybody do me a big favor. Please click like, click subscribe. You can support the show on Patreon or tip with the thanks button on YouTube, or you can support Crystal, Kyle, and friends. We got a great debate happening this week. Crystal and I will be debating somebody who is pro-Trump. It should be interesting. It should be entertaining. It should be fun. You're not going to want to miss it. You'll get a little teaser clip on the channel, but definitely sign up on Substack below to get the whole thing. All right, guys. I love y'all, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace. Hey, y'all. Do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.